I really felt like the educators in the state of Michigan worked their butts off to make sure that kids in the state of Michigan didn't miss out on. We had graduation in July. We went to every length to try to make it as normal as we could in completely extraordinary, unnormal times.
Right,
And
right.
so I was real proud. I know that firsthand from Beale City. That's where I was during the pandemic as the superintendent. But all the schools around us at that time across the state really worked their butts off. The educators get a bad rap. They really do. And we try to toot our horns, but it's not in our nature.
No.
We just want to come do what we need to do for kids.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Bill Chilman. Bill is the superintendent at Harbor Beach Community Schools, and that's in Harbor Beach, Michigan. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Janet.
I'm excited. I think we're going to have a great conversation. Bill, tell me a little bit about your journey. We talked a little bit before we got on air, and a little bit about Harbor Beach.
Yeah, this is year 34 in education for me. Um, Started off as a teacher, coach, and athletic director. Very young, 21, 22 years old, up in Brimley, Michigan, just outside of the Sioux. Um, Went from there to the middle school principalship at Sanford Meridian over in Midland County, and I was there for 10 years. Started my family there and bought our first home and all that good stuff that you
Yeah.
do when you're first starting out. And then wanted to be a superintendent and moved over to Beale City, which is just outside of Mount Pleasant, Michigan, right in the heart of the Lower Peninsula. And I was there for 17 years as the superintendent. Thought I was going to retire, loved it there, still own home there, still love the Beale City Aggies, but at the same time, I was ready for something new, and just wasn't ready to retire. And I saw this position over here at Harbor Beach, and I'd never been to the Thumb, and I wanted a journey. I wanted something new and exciting. And boy, did I get it.
Awesome.
Fell in love over here. What a great community, great school, really good staff, good kids. We've had a lot of success, both academically and athletically, and we're really trying to pick things up with the arts as well. And so here in Harbor Beach, I found a home a couple years ago and just love it. Just love it. It's just a great place.
So for those of you that don't know Michigan, we call the thumb, like we always put our hand up and show the state of Michigan. When we talk about the thumb, it kind of looks like a thumb. So, and it's cool. It's really cool. Yeah, I lived in Michigan for 19 years. We found out we didn't live too far away from each other for a long time, which was neat. But yeah, so I tell me a little bit about the demographics of Harbor Beach, and then you guys have done some really, really amazing things there. I'd love to hear about that too.
Yeah. So I've spent most of my 34-year career in small and rural schools. The largest school that I was in was Sanford Meridian, but still pretty small. And Harbor Beach and Brimley and Beale are almost identical size between that 500 and 600, 700 student
Mhm.
range, K through 12.
Okay.
All in rural communities, small rural communities, in small rural schools. I have a real affinity for that. Um, and it's something that is a passion of mine. MASA, our state organization for superintendents, started a small rural schools task force a few years back. And I've been heavily involved in that and very active in that. We meet once a month via Zoom, couple times a year in person, and usually do some legislative work in Lansing, just to make sure that people are paying attention to the small
Yeah.
rural schools, which it makes up about 75% of the
Yeah.
state of Michigan in the schools.
Yeah.
As far as Harbor Beach is concerned, we'll stick to that right now. About 550 kids. We have two small private schools, K through 8, that feed into our high school.
Nice.
We have a nice K through 8 building here as well. Um, uh, the demographics. very typical in the small rural schools. Um, the free and reduced lunch is 35, 40%, which is on the low side for a lot of small rural communities. We do have a very nice uh, economic base here in Harbor Beach. As
Is
far
there a lot
as,
of tourism? Is that what you're seeing there, or is there other
you
industries that
know,
are feeding it?
yeah, not on our side of the thumb. We get our fair share of tourism, of course, with Lake Huron right there.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
But it's agriculture, and we have a few large businesses,
Okay.
factories in town.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so that it's a hub, so to speak, of the thumb area along the lakeshore anyways. And so, yeah, it's a great demographic. Our test scores, pretty much at the county and state level. Trying to push to go to that next, ki we're always trying to improve, right? We're always
Always.
trying to get
Yeah.
better.
Hmm.
Academically, I've been very pleased with what I've seen. We've made some moves to try to help some of that stuff with some new literacy curriculum. We moved our fifth grade in with our middle school. Now we have a pre-K 4 building. We're all one building, but we have wings of
Yeah.
our build.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then a 5-8 wing, and then a 9-12 wing, all with between 150 to 200 kids in them,
Hmm.
roughly. And then each of those wings has a principal, and then that principal is a director. So my elementary principal is principal, special ed director, middle school principal, transportation director, high school principal, curriculum director.
Oh,
And then I have a tech director and a athletic director who are also teachers. They teach and then help the administrative team with those things.
that's one thing
Throughout.
about little schools that I always see. It's like there's never one hat. You don't get just one hat. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it really is that way. And all over the state, all over the nation. And that's probably why I have kind of stayed in the small rural schools and not tried to advance my career in regards, or some people would think advance your career by going to a bigger school. I've seen no need to do that because I'm involved with everything and I love that. My office is in the school with the kids.
Right.
I
You're
don't think
not
I
in
would
an
want to be
administrative
a
building
downtown
miles
type of
away, right? Yeah,
superintendent. That's
exactly.
not my style.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. We were saying
No,
the
that's
same
fine.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. It just wouldn't
Exactly.
it wouldn't be a good fit for me at all. And every building that I've been in, whether it's been assistant principal or a principal or superintendent, I've been right in the building with the kids, and that's why I got into education a long time ago. And so I don't want to get away from the kids.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. One of the hardest things for me, and I've said this a million times on the show, was stop seeing kids. I still serve kids, still love on the kids, but don't get to see them every day anymore because, I can serve 55 or I can serve 3,700. It's just like
Yeah,
you just do what you got to do, right? So,
exactly.
so one of the things that I was reading a little bit about is you guys have set up some really interesting foundations over the years. Can you tell us a little bit about your work there with foundations?
Yeah, my work with foundations, I was on the learning part of that when I was at Sanford Meridian. They started the Mustang Fund there, and I was a young administrator and learning from older, more experienced administrators in regards to what that means, what we were trying to do, what the vision was. Excuse me.
No
And
worries.
so I paid a lot of attention to it. And then when I went to Beale City, we started the Beale City Education Foundation, and it was a nice little fund. Our goal was 10,000 in 10 years, and we ended up with about 200,000 in 10 years. And we were given it started. The crazy story is the counselor came to me my first year as superintendent near the end of the year, and she says, we need your $200 check." I'm like, "Oh, okay. What's up?" And she says, "Well, the superintendent always gives a $200 scholarship every year." And I was like, "Oh, all right, no problem." I knew there had to been some backstory, so I wanted to find that out. And the previous superintendent had done some work and he had set $2,000 aside, and he had gone through that $2,000 with giving out these $200 scholarships over the years. And so I said, well, I took that and I'm like, all right, I need to be visionary about this.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't want to give $200 of my own
Right. Right.
money, but I'm like, how can we do this and sustain it without asking an individual or
Mm-hmm.
having to rely on that?
Yep.
And so went back to my roots in with the Mustang Foundation, and we started the Beale City Education Foundation, and we went from giving out one $200 scholarship every year. They now give out about 13 or 14 $600 scholarships
Nice.
annually. And our goal, the vision of it, is to be able to provide funding for our students, whether it's workforce or education beyond the high school experience, and uh, and to have them pay for as much of that as possible, kind of like the Kalamazoo Promise type of thing.
Okay.
Uh, but so when I got here to Harbor Beach, I was friends with the previous superintendent, and him and his team, which is now my team, they had done some work. They had a donation, a large donation that came in, uh, and they had set up an idea for all students to get funds each year, an initial contribution, and then get funds each year that they were enrolled in school. And then they would get that money upon graduation. And I looked into that a little bit, worked with the county foundation here in Huron County, and come to find out they had a pretty good thing established. And her and I wrote the policies and procedures, the bylaws, so to speak, how that would work. And we created the store's family child savings accounts. And every year at count time, during student count time, we take a snapshot of our student body. And those students that are brand new to us, at Harbor Beach, they receive $100 in their account, and then every returning student gets $30 in their account, and it builds up over time. We have two in-school deposit days each year, where parents and grandparents and friends and family can uh, send money in with their kids to be put into their child savings accounts. um,
Neat.
and then part of that is with our fiscal agents, which is Frankenmuth Credit Union. They provide us with financial literacy curriculum that my math teachers do
Oh,
here locally. So it's kind of a full circle type of thing, and we kind of tied it up into a fairly pretty good bow here over the last year and a half, 2 years that I've been here, and that 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 foundation is very much geared towards individual students. We did want to do something a little different and try to have a more of a freedom. And so I worked with the county foundation, the Huron County Community Foundation, and we started the Pirate Fund.
I saw
And
that. I was like, "What is the
yeah,
pirate fund?" I'm
the,
glad you
the
went there.
Pirate Fund, yeah, the Pirate Fund's a little more general in nature. So we're actually in the middle right now of a teacher mini grant process. So any educator that works in Harbor Beach can apply for a grant, a mini grant, and we can give that out. Um, what we did is we wanted some local control. So we had this stores family child savings accounts, and we had this pirate fund, and it was being controlled at the county level. And we said we need something here locally. And so what we did is we set up the Harbor Beach educational endowments, and that is a family of funds that currently houses that family of funds currently houses the store's family child savings account and the pirate fund. And now we are working with others to bring in our athletic association and have them create a fund. Our FFA, we have a very strong FFA here in Harbor Beach. We're hoping to have somebody open an FFA fund in the educational endowments that are housed. The endowments are controlled locally with the HBEE, which is the Harbor Beach Educational Endowments, but they are housed, or the fiscal agent for that, the holder of that, is the Huron County Community Foundation.
Gotcha. Okay. And
So
FFA is Future Farmers of America, right?
it is,
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
Future
Mm.
Farmers of America. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Occupational therapy shouldn't be one more thing on your plate. It should be a solution. Lighthouse Therapy offers school based occupational therapy services that actually work for you and your staff. Our OTs have an average of 16 years of experience in schools, and they support everything from handwriting to fine motor to sensory integration. And you can choose from 3 different service models, whether it be virtual, hybrid, or in person. It's OT that fits your workflow without the chaos. Visit lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together to learn more. So that explains, you've got for those of you that are listening, in the background there's a skull and crossbones on the it's a cabinet or something on the wall
Yes.
behind him, and I'm like, there's got to be a story there. And if it's a pirate fun, it makes a lot of sense that you would have a skull and crossbones. But it also says, I can't read it all, but it's something about legacy and inspire
Yeah.
and grit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. It
awesome.
really is. That's our mascot, obviously the Harbor Beach Pirates. We
Gotcha.
call
Oh,
our school the ship, the pirate ship.
gotcha.
And so
Okay.
we have a lot of pride in the Pirates. Matter of fact, this year we just got done winning a state championship in Division 8 football.
Nice.
And
Congratulations to
unfortunately,
you
our
guys.
basketball team, yeah, thank you. Fortunately, our basketball team, they won their first ever in school history regional title a week ago, and they ended up getting beat last night in the quarterfinals. But they played their hearts out and made the school and the community proud.
Yeah,
So
they still have something very much to be proud of for sure.
yeah,
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 that's great. That's great. My son, the last thing we did before the pandemic got crazy, because he was a senior. He was a 2020 grad, poor kid. I cried. I cried halfway through from March to May. He was like, "Mom, it's okay. I don't know why." And he was my youngest. "Mom, I don't know why you're crying. I don't know why you're crying." And I was like, "You don't know what you're missing, babe. You just don't know." But I remember the last thing we did was he was a wrestler. He didn't go to state, but others in the team. So we all went to state up in I think it was in Lansing, if I remember correctly. I don't
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
To the state wrestling tournament that year. And I think that was the last, because they ended up not having the basketball state tournament. And actually it was Leslie High School, and Leslie had qualified for state and they didn't get to go. So it was a sad time,
I
but
have
yeah.
my youngest is a 2020 grad, and
Yeah.
they were trying to three-peat as district finalists, and the game got canceled in
Yeah.
basketball. Um,
So
we
heartbreaking, so
Yeah,
heartbreaking, yeah.
we I thought I really felt like the educators in the state of Michigan worked their butts off to make sure that kids in the state of Michigan um, didn't miss out on we had graduation in July.
Mhm.
We went to every length to try to make it as normal as we could in completely extraordinary, unnormal times.
Right, right.
And so I was real proud. I know that firsthand from Beale City. That's where I was during the pandemic as a superintendent. But all the schools around us at that time across the state really worked their butts off. And the educators get a bad rap. They do. And we try to toot our horns, but it's not in our nature.
No.
We just want to come do what we need to do for
Mhm.
kids. And I try to stay out of the weeds with all of uh the
Politics.
crap
Yeah,
sometimes, so
yeah.
to speak, that we have
It
to
is,
deal
yeah.
with.
And that's what Brighter Together is all about. It's giving you guys a voice, giving you an opportunity to talk about, because there's so many amazing things that are happening. And, it just we're not gonna go down that road, but there's so many things I could talk about when it comes to the pandemic, because there were so many amazing stories that came out of it, and so many educators that just bent over backwards to serve the kids and to have a safe space for them, et cetera, lunches and
Pandemic
food. And yeah.
taught me one thing, Janet. The pandemic taught me one thing. Educators are never going to go away when we are way more valuable than anybody ever thinks that we are. It really solidified uh, solidified that profession, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So, okay. So foundations are money. I just want to back up just a tiny bit to define for me and for the listeners what qualifies as a foundation. Like, it's not money that goes directly to the school. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So people, we do fundraisers, people contribute money. The child savings accounts is even a little bit different of a
Okay.
piece, but generally for a foundation, a school to have a foundation or a fund, at a foundation, it's money that they have produced, like I said, with fundraisers or
Okay.
donations, and it's endowed. It's
Okay.
endowed in the foundation, so it's pulled together with all the money. The local foundation then, usually they're community foundations, counties or cities
Okay.
have them, and, then that money's endowed, and you basically spend a portion of the interest each year that you get,
To
to
administer the
spend,
fund.
to administer,
Yeah.
whether it's scholarships, grants,
Gotcha.
awards,
Gotcha. Hmm.
to do different projects. I've seen everything from, uh people putting money into foundations, and building playgrounds, to scholarships to $300 grants for mini teachers to get a set of
Sure.
novels.
Oh,
So
gotcha. Okay.
that's really more with the Pirate Fund or the Beale City Education Fund or the Mustang Fund. That's what those funds were. The
Okay.
child savings accounts, that's in the foundation. The money's endowed. The kids are earning interest, and that's how we get the money each year to give to our new students, new kindergartners or any new
Right.
transfers in, and then the money that we spend on those students that are still with us. So we spend in the interest to give back to the kids in
Gotcha.
that way, and we put it in their account, and then they're able to learn through the financial literacy, about financial growth and interest and why you need to save and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways to create and structure your foundation. That's what myself and the executive director for the Huron County Community Foundation, that's what we did when I got here,
Gotcha.
in Harbor Beach. We created that process and procedure for Harbor Beach. Uh, and I had that experience when I was at Beale City doing it with the Beale City Education Foundation. I also sat on the board of directors for the Mount Pleasant Area Community Foundation for 9 years as well,
Wow.
as the educational rep. So,
Neat. Very cool. Very, very cool. You've got your fingers in a lot of things going on there. That's
and
awesome.
that's why I love the small school
Yeah. Yeah.
superintendency.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about it earlier as far as jobs within a school, but one of my jobs as a superintendent, besides the teaching and learning and student achievement and what happens here on a daily basis, it's really about economic growth and development in our community. If I want a healthy school, I have to have a healthy community. So
Right.
we work very closely with all the businesses, all the municipalities, townships, cities, county, and we have to build those relationships, and foster them. And one of those is the county community foundations. And so I try to sit on those boards. I try to sit on boards for some of our social, your Rotary Club and things like that as well, because I have to represent the school for the entire community, and we are a business within
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, for sure. And I've talked to some superintendents. Some schools, especially in these rural, they're the primary employer at some districts that I've talked to in the past. Because for me, I don't, when we invite people to be on this show, it is not a qualification that you have to have a certain number of students in your school. It doesn't matter if you're public or private or virtual or charter or whatever. The point always is, let's talk to the people that are doing education, the decision makers. We always talk to superintendents or special education directors or coordinators in that vein, and in that vein, because I'm special education, and that's like, you know, born and bred in me. Take care of all of the kids, but also, talking about education, special education is my background. So, it's just amazing to see and to have been able to do what I do and talk to, I think you're like in 200. I think this is show, I mean, look really fast. Show number 218. So, yeah, in a year's time, I have done 218 shows because that's our commitment to you as educators and as the people that are working so hard for those kids is to get as many of the stories out as I possibly can. So it's a big part of my
Just
week. Yeah.
Yeah, just as you have done and doing some prep work and finding out about me and Harbor Beach, I was able to see some of your shows and know a few of the people that you've interviewed. So that's really outstanding.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It has been an absolute joy for me. And I always tell people it's like I got really smart people over here on the front side doing the front side, attracting schools and telling them we have some street cred now too because we've been around for a whole year now. So people are much less like what are you asking me to do? I don't get that anymore. And then on the back end, we have amazing people on the back end who are doing the editing and making me look smarter than I am, like I say, and doing all of that work. And then we give it. And if you don't know this about Brighter, if you're listening, I know you do, Bill, but if people are listening, we give everything that we do back to the schools because we want you to use it. We want to give this. This is a project that isn't just about promoting Janet and Lighthouse Therapy. It's about promoting what is happening in education, and giving it to the schools gives you an opportunity to use it in a way that hopefully will help your district and help you. So, yeah.
Help
So
our educators
educators, yes.
across the thumb, across the state,
Yeah.
across the region, across the nation.
Yeah. And so talking about foundations and understanding them and knowing that you have that background, and the other thing is you've been in administration. You told me I think since you were 26, is that right?
Before that,
Before that
I
even?
started in administration at 23.
At
So
23.
of my
Wow.
34-year career, 33 of them have been I've been in administration. Some of those as administrator slash teacher,
Mhm.
but I have been in administration for 33 of the 34 years I've been in it.
Which is amazing. So you have so much knowledge. The other thing I wanted to mention too, you said you were a superintendent for 17 years at one school. That's not typical for a
It is not.
superintendent. It is not. 7 years. I think the max that, like, generally speaking, that the average that superintendents do on the higher end is 7 years. So,
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time. It's a long
Yep.
time.
No, I loved my time there, and it's a great place, and we built it to a pretty strong academic and athletic and artistic school. And when I came here, there was already some strong roots and some strong things that Harbor Beach had, and so hopefully we're just building on those, right? We're taking them from where they were, and we're trying to build on them and improve. Even though they were already pretty good, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah,
So.
always, right, yeah. Okay, one last question, and if you've watched my shows, you might already know what I'm gonna ask you, but I'm gonna ask it. So, but and we know all schools need money, so we're not gonna talk about money. But if you could just miraculously fix one thing in your world as a superintendent right now, what you're doing, and never have to worry about it ever again, what would that one thing be?
Probably parent involvement. And notice I didn't say parenting. Notice I didn't just push it back on them and say they wish they could do it better. I want them involved. I want them to be one of my partners. The schools that I've been at, we've always looked at this as an educational pyramid. The base of it is our community.
Takes a
And
village, right? Yeah,
it takes a village, right?
right.
That's the
Yep,
base.
yep.
And then we have these four walls that make that pyramid up, and that's the students, the staff, the school itself, and the parents.
Mhm.
And we need them involved. We need them to be here, be supportive, um, understand what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it, not fight us at every turn, but really be involved with us. And so if there was one thing that I think that would change not just education, but our society in general, is those parents being actively involved in their school and their community, and helping us as a partner lift up not just their kids, but all kids. And if we do that, we lift the school up. we lift our staff up, and we lift the community up.
Very nice. Very it's a beautiful answer, Bill. Absolutely love it. So tell people, where do they go? Because I know there's gonna be somebody that's gonna have a question about doing a foundation, because 'cause you've got so much knowledge and we talk so much about it. So where do people go to find out a little bit more about you and about, your school, Harbor Beach?
Well, www.hbpirates.org is our website. That'll get you to at least the base, and then with Google, you'll be able to see a lot of the different things that I am involved in. Like you said earlier, I have my hands in a lot of
Yeah.
pieces, whether it's foundations or bond issue and projects that we've done. Um, I also have my own educational consulting business.
Wow.
I work with private companies as well as schools and boards, and to try to help them uh, spread this message of community growth and development. So yeah, that's the best place. That'll get you a pretty good starting point. And in there, you'll be able to contact me.
Yep. Yep.
So if you want to
Usually you
send me an
can touch it,
email,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you wanna send me an email, I'll be happy to send you all the rest of my contact information, but we start usually with that contact of
Yep.
an email and then go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bill, so much. I knew it was going to be a great conversation, and it absolutely has. So, thank you for sharing your knowledge and your passion. And stay warm. I know it's March. It's starting to warm up a little bit up there, but
It was 70 degrees here on Monday, and it is now 28.
that's Michigan. That's
It's
Michigan. You want the weather to change? Just wait 5 minutes, right?
exactly,
19
exactly,
years. I
so
lived up there for 19 years. So, and let's see. So I'll make you a little bit jealous. Corpus Christi today, right now, where I'm at, it's 80. It's 80 degrees. Yeah. So March 11th,
we got
80
spring
degrees.
break in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
so we'll be
it's
all
true.
set.
Well, when we actually live on Padre Island, so we're in and it's spring break here, and we're, like, inundated with the spring breakers, so, yeah, I never thought I'd live in a community where it's a tourist area, and that's truly where we are, is, like, there because we live on Padre Island, not South Padre, but Padre Island in Corpus Christi, and it's beautiful, I love it, I'm blessed beyond measure, but when the tourists start coming in it's like you hear people like, "Oh, there's a tourist. We're tourists. We're acting like a tourist." You can spot them a mile away because they're all the ones that are. It's cold out for us at 75 degrees, and they're in a bathing suit with just a pullover. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, we had a little bit of that here on
Oh,
Monday
I
when it was
bet. Oh,
70. We
oh,
had
my
people
boys.
walking around in their shorts
Up
and T-shirts.
soon as it gets to be 50 degrees in Michigan, shorts are out. Everybody's in their shorts because they're it's like, oh, it's warm. 50. I'm
We have
freezing at
right
50.
outside my office, we have this huge snow pile, from the parking lot being cleaned. And on Monday, we had kids in shorts and T-shirts, and they're climbing on
Climbing
the
it.
on the
Yeah.
snow pile that's
Yeah.
30 feet high, you know?
Yeah. Oh, fun. Oh, that's so fun. Well, it's as I said before, thank you, Bill. It has been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.